Alrighty, guess what day today is? Vegan pear cake day. So, I guess I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to post the recipe after the video, so if anyone gets confused, which you guys probably don't even care about the recipe. I don't know. But I'm just going to talk you through it just like I did the last one, and we'll go from there, okay? This pear cake is going to make an 8x8 cake. I already have my pan ready and my oven preheated at 350 degrees, so don't forget to do that. The way I do this one is a little bit different because we're using oil versus non-hydrogenated margarine like we did yesterday, or the other day, or banana cake day, whatever day that was. So I'm going to mix all my wet ingredients except for the vanilla, because I added the vinegar with the vanilla this time. So we're going to add that very last. And actually, you can totally transform this into an apple cake. Just substitute the pear sauce that I had made earlier, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Depending on the size of your pears, I'm working with pears that are between this size and this size. So it took about 8 pears to get a cup and a half of pear sauce. So these are my organic pears. I use organic lemons from my great aunt's tree. Oh my God, these are the most amazing lemons ever. Okay, so but you can't get them. Only I can get them. Unless you have a friend with an organic lemon tree. So we're going to put all of the wet ingredients in first, and then we're going to put all the dry ingredients in, okay? Can you follow that? Okay. So I've got a half a cup of canola oil. You can use any kind of oil you want. I like this one. It's totally fine. Coconut oil is awesome. So if you want to use that, substitute that. That's fine. I've got 1 teaspoon of unsulfured molasses. I don't know how well this is going to come out because molasses likes to stick. So we're just going to scrape as much as we can out of there. You can also substitute some of the sugar for brown sugar, like I did with the banana cake. That's fine. I just don't have as much brown sugar made up today, so I'm going to need that later. But this is going to be a weird ingredient for a lot of you to use in a cake. And the reason I'm using it is because I have 1 cup of diced pears. Normally, I also add 1 cup of raisins and 1 cup of chopped walnuts. So, being a bread baker by trade, I am adding a little bit of baker's yeast to my cake. It seems odd, but it's vegan. It's alive. I put a half a teaspoon of yeast. There's a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar and about a tablespoon of warm water in here. And you want it to look like that. Okay? If it doesn't look like that, your yeast is dead and you have to start over or go back to the store and buy more. So, I'm going to add that to this. It helps in cakes. It actually goes back to the 1700s, I believe 1778. I'm not exactly sure on that. Something called election cake, where it was full of fruits and nuts and everything, and it was to entice people to come in and vote. So the ladies would bake cake, and it had yeast in it. So I kind of started using that, being a bread baker. I started using that in my cakes that had a lot of heavy stuff in it. Because if you're baking a vegan cake, you don't have the egg to lift everything up. So adding a little bit of yeast goes a long way. I mean, I add other things like flaxseed, etc., but when it really comes down to it, adding a little bit of yeast is not that big of a deal, and you can't tell. I add it to my carrot cake, and we'll do that. That's a more involved cake, and we'll do that later on down the line. So I've got all my wet ingredients. Pear sauce, okay? This has, like I said, what did I say, 9 pears? And it's got about maybe a tablespoon of lemon juice added to it. You want to add lemon juice because, you know, they turn brown, they oxidize, they get nasty when everything gets chopped up and touches the air. Just like apples, they turn brown. So, I've got my music on today, so I'm feeling a lot happier. I'm just going to give this a quick little stir. You don't need to turn on the mixer yet for that. And then, I'm actually going to add the sugar first. This is our raw sugar, again, that we're using. Unbleached raw sugar. I'm going to mix that just a little bit before I add in all the other good stuff. This is a super simple, quick cake. I'm going to put a glaze on the top of this one, but this one is going to have cinnamon and cloves on it, on the top, because we are adding, in here, I've got 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, I've got a teaspoon of cardamom, I've got a teaspoon of ginger, and a half teaspoon of cloves, and I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So yeah, there's a lot of spices going in here, but trust me, if you don't like one of them, just take one out and substitute it for more cinnamon. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care what you do with your cake. As long as someone's eating them and enjoying them, that's all that matters. I've got a half a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to throw that in there. Cool. Blend it up just a little bit. We don't need to get all crazy. As you guys will remember, if you watched the video for the banana cake, this is actually 2 tablespoons of milled flaxseed. Remember to only use milled flaxseed, okay? Very, very important. We went through this before. And mix that up. That's all nice and good. We're not adding any soy milk, no rice milk, nothing to this, because the pear sauce is actually pretty much all the liquid you're going to need, except for the vanilla and the oil. I mean, you really don't need to add a whole lot of milk to it. So I've got my 2 cups of unbleached flour. And we're going to throw this in here. I can already see the yeast in there getting all excited. The yeast is amazing. Kind of like throwing a bunch of kids in a party. And yes, as I reminded you before, you're going to hear a lot of different music, and I'm sorry if you don't like it, it's my iPod. So, obviously, if you don't like my music, you can't hang with me, so most people can't. That's okay, I don't mind. Alright, so now we've got it all ready to go. We're going to add the vanilla and the vinegar. And then at the very last, I'm just going to mix in the pears. And if you want to add the walnuts or raisins, add those in last and mix them in, you know, by hand like this with your mixer. You don't want to break up and destroy and mutilate all your yummy tidbits that are going into your cake. Okay? And yes, my musical taste varies from old school punk rock, new punk rock, screamo, etc., etc. I've got some Devil May Cry in there. I've got Daniel Johnston. I've got a little bit of everything. So if you want to make something, you can. I like rockabilly. I pretty much like everything except new country, so I'm really sorry. I like old school country, because that's what I grew up on. So you want to throw down some Johnny Cash? I've got a connection with Johnny Cash, but that's a story for another time, and that involves my dad, so we can talk about that later. Got a connection with a lot of tattoo artists and musicians, but I pretty much like doing my own thing. I'm also an artist, so you know you'll eventually see some of my artwork floating around the kitchen. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's super easy, basic. I'm gonna go get my spatula because I forgot it, of course, again. I love when people put my baking stuff in the wrong drawer and then I can't find it. I don't know if any of you have that problem, but I have that problem a lot. So I prefer to wash, dry, and put away my own dishes, especially if they're baking dishes, but some other people might disagree because I do tend to make a mess. So I have my pan. I'm not going to sprinkle demerara sugar on this one today, even though it is one of my favorite things to do. You could leave this cake completely plain on the top. I like to glaze everything. I'm a glazer. So this time I'm just going to glaze the top of the cake. Although that banana cake got devoured in less than a day. So, and that was a 9 by 13. This cake will not last today. By the end of today, this cake will be gone. I guarantee you. And, alright. I think we got it. Okay, I'm going to put this in the oven for, well, I'm going to set it for 30 minutes like I did before, but then I'm going to check it and rotate it because I had an offer to have my new oven put in yesterday and someone declined me. Epic fail. So, bummer for me. I'm going to go throw this in the oven, okay? And then we're going to come back and take a look at it. I'm a really horrible dancer, so don't be checking out my dance moves because I don't dance or sing very well. I'm setting a timer for 30 minutes and then I'm going to check it, turn it, and then I will come back and see you. Alright? And then we'll do all that good stuff. Alright.